Welcome. Welcome to another live, guys. Surprise. Trying to get as many of these in as possible. As I've said on many occasions, I just don't feel that I have a lot of time. So, trying to get as many live sessions touching upon a variety of different topics before I am gone. All right. I made a promise a while ago that I would be dedicated to building Bitcoin related content on X.com all the way to Bitcoin 100,000. I started in the last quarter of the 2022 bear market. I thought that was a perfect time to start building the content, pounding the table on this rarest of all assets and why your window of opportunity is closing. My message has always been the same, right? It's always been the same. All right. Get as much Bitcoin as you humanly possibly can. It is best to institute a DCA, a weekly DCA program. The goal is to have more Bitcoin every single week of your life. All right. It is also best to institute a smash buy on sharp moves to the downside in lieu of, in addition to your dollar cost averaging. I've always promoted self-custody, right? No other bullshit. Self-custody. Take possession of your own keys. Possession is 9/10 of the law. No trading of Bitcoin under any circumstances, and freaking patience and some loyalty. That has been my only message. All right. I've never tried to sell you anything. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. All I've encouraged is that you look, and if you look deep enough at Bitcoin, if you look at how eloquent and special it is as an asset, how it is the best savings technology under the planet, the best savings technology the world has ever had exposure to, that if you looked deep enough, then you'd institute what I've always pounded the table on. All right. Get as much as you can. Get as much Bitcoin as you can now. Your window of opportunity is closing. What's the next thing? How do you do that? You institute a weekly DCA plan, meaning make sure that every single week of your life, you have more Bitcoin this week than last week. Be price indiscriminate. It doesn't matter what the price is. Price indiscriminate doesn't matter what the price is. Every single week, no matter what the price is, make sure you are richer in BTC terms, because being richer in US dollar terms doesn't cut it anymore. The new flex is be richer in BTC terms. So what's been my message from day one? Get as much Bitcoin as you can. The way you do that, weekly DCA, irrespective of price, make sure you are richer in BTC terms every single week of your life. Smash buy program. Every single time there is a significant enough drop, in addition to your DCA, take whatever you have available that you don't need right now and just smash that shit into Bitcoin. All right. That is the smash buy aspect of the accumulation model. That smash buy program can be something like, all right, every $3,000 down, I'm in. I'm smash buying in addition to my weekly. Or it can be a percentage. All right. Or it can just be by whim. I think this is deep enough. I'm smash buying. All right. But those two things operating in conjunction with each other is how you get as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. All right. I've always promoted the fact that this is not another financial asset that you use to buy for $1 and sell for $2, that you don't sell this thing and you don't trade this thing. I've explained to you why. I've done the numbers back and forth. It can't be traded over time successfully, nor should you trade something that represents your freedom from a broken, corrupt system. You don't sell freedom and you don't trade freedom. You don't sit there like a freaking idiot and say, Oliver, now that I'm free, when do I trade freedom back for slavery? You don't do stupid shit like that. No trading Bitcoin, no selling Bitcoin, period. You don't sell freedom and you don't trade freedom. That has always been my message here, despite the fact that the only thing I know in life is trading. And that's coming from me, and that should mean something. That has always been my message here. And my message has always been self-custody. I've even shown you my self-custody solutions using Unchained, and even talked about the various cold storage wallets that are my favorite. All right. Self-custody, no trading, DCA, smash buy, make sure you are richer in BTC terms every single week of your life. All right. No selling, self-custody, say that twice, and find some freaking patience and loyalty to something that has delivered for every single person who's banked on it and trusted it over the last 15 years. Have some freaking patience and some freaking loyalty to what has never failed you. No other message. That is it. All right. And I'm going to pound the table on that message until Bitcoin reaches 100,000. And then I'm gone, because what I'm doing here, guys, it's not that I'm gone from Bitcoin. I will never be gone from Bitcoin. I will just be gone from my frenetic pace here on Twitter, on x.com. It's just unsustainable for me. I actually wish I did it. I wish I made my promise up to 75,000. But remember, when I did this, Bitcoin was under 20,000, 17,000, 16,000. When I made that promise to say, okay, I'm doing this up to 100. And at that particular time, I showed you accumulating Bitcoin at clips of 17 and 20 and 25 BTC at a time. I showed you me doing what I actually encouraged you to do at that particular time. All right. And so anyone obviously here who remembers that time can certainly attest to that. All right. So I'm here with you until 100,000 Bitcoin. Then I'm gone. I can't do this. It's not sustainable for me. I travel a great deal. My travel schedule is about to pick up. And plus, I'm a little tired of you bozos. I got to be honest. I'm a little tired of you bozos. I am. The same questions. But Oliver, I'm scared. What about this, Oliver? What about that, Oliver? And it's the same shit over and over again. Nobody wants to go back. Nobody wants to look at prior posts. They want you to give them the answer every single time. It doesn't matter how many times you have said it before. Nobody wants to do any research. Nobody wants to do a Google search. Nobody wants to use AI. Nobody wants to go back a few days or a few weeks to find out what this dude has said. What is this? Nobody wants to do that. All right. That's freaking tiring. All right, guys. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right. All right. I've got, this is interesting. Stratuswag says, I've got a DCA, dollar cost averaging, going on for 23 bucks a day. Cool. I will say this about this. I've done a lot of studies for you. All right. Well, for me, but I'm sharing them with you. So it's for you too now. All right. Katia, gracias. So I think I should share this with you. I've done a study that compares daily DCA, and I do buy daily. It's not DCA though. I'll explain this in just a moment. So I buy daily, but I've done a study between DCA daily versus DCA weekly. And over a long period of time, the difference is so negligible, it doesn't really matter. So you can do the daily, do the weekly. Now, if I had my choice and someone says, Oliver, I can do both. What do you recommend? I would probably recommend the weekly. All right. Because the danger that can happen with someone on a daily is UTXOs can be too small. Now, if they know about this and can manage their UTXOs and make sure they don't withdraw into self-custody until they get a sizable enough UTXO, you can get around that. But that goes into a slight extra layer of complexity. Also, I think that the more sizable, chunky weekly DCA is more psychologically satisfying for the individual. But if you feel that weekly, I'll fall off, Oliver, I know myself. But if I do it daily, man, I will do it daily. But weekly, I might forget, or I might see the price in between my buys and start having psychological doubts. But daily erases that for me. If that psychologically is better for you, again, the difference is so slight between the two, it really doesn't matter. All right. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, let me explain to you what the difference is between what I do. I buy daily. That's not a DCA, although it still can be considered a DCA. But when I say DCA, I'm talking about putting primarily the same amount every single week. So if you've committed a $100 weekly DCA on Mondays or Sunday night, then you're just going to keep the $100 the same and build your life outside of that $100, right? I've got everything else above $100 to live my life, but this is dedicated to Bitcoin, and nothing under the freaking sun is gonna stop me from doing this 100. All right, nothing. I will have to make everything in my life work outside of this 100. That's a DCA. Now, if you apply that to daily, if it's like, okay, I'm gonna buy $20 a day every single day, no matter what. I have to live my life outside of this $20, but nothing is going to get in the way of my $20 DCA on a daily basis. All right. That's what a DCA is. I don't do that. So here's what I do. I make a living trading markets, trading financial markets. I've done this for 43 years. Okay. So what I do is every single day I am profitable in the markets. I am profitable in most cases way beyond what I need to live by. So what I do is I take a small portion out of every single daily profitable day, and everything else above that goes right into Bitcoin every single day, every day. Do you understand? So let's say, for instance, I've decided I'm going to live off of $1,500 a day. All right. I'm going to take $1,500 a day to live my life every single day. Any day that I am profitable beyond $1,500, and that's almost every day, most days, but any day I'm profitable beyond that, any penny, any dollar above $1,500, that's going directly into Bitcoin. Now, I have to manage this appropriately because my payout on trading is once a month, but I do it every day. So from cash reserves, I have cash reserves, and I'm building trading profits for a payout once a month, right? So if I make $6,000 on this day, $1,500 comes out, right? $4,500 gets taken from my cash reserves, right, to go into Bitcoin, because I can't get the 4,500 or the 6,000 out of the trading account only once a month. So I'm drawing from the cash reserve, and once a month, anything I've drawn into Bitcoin, that cash reserve gets replenished by my once a month payout on my trading. All right. So that's basically how I do it on a daily basis. So why is this not considered DCA? Because it's a random amount. I don't know what my profitability. Sometimes it's razor thin. Sometimes it's hefty. Sometimes it's gargantuan. Today, today I will show you. I will show you what it was today. Let me try to do this for you. So today, my trading profitability was razor thin, right? It wasn't as big as normal. Let me see if I can get this up for you. But so I think that what will also help a person determine whether it's going to be, right, whether it's going to be, let me get this up for you here. Daily or weekly depends on the frequency with which you receive your dirty fiat. All right. So if you receive your dirty fiat weekly, then weekly is better than daily. If you are like me and you have a constant daily flow of dirty fiat, then you can use daily. You know, I think that that has a big bearing as well on whether or not, let me see if I can get this up for you here, guys. Wait, what are we doing here? Share screen. The heck here. It's not letting me do it. Why is it not letting me do this? Oh, there it is. So let me see if I can do this. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. So anyway, I don't know if you can see my screen. This is my trading platform. I don't know if you can see down here, lower right-hand corner. It's lower right-hand corner for me. $2,100. I traded Meta this morning. All right, one trade, in and out, 7 minutes, out, done, finished. $2,100 I was finished. But and I don't know if that's visible for you. Let me, guys, were you able to see that? Was that visible? Because I can't see it. Was that visible? Let me know if that was visible. I'll look at your comments in just a second here. We see it? Okay, cool. All right, so anyway, that is what I mean. But there's also a lot of talk regarding lump sum into Bitcoin, right? Lump sum. So I get a lot of questions regarding this. Oliver, I've got a lump sum. How should I deploy this? Now, studies have proven that lump sum is over time better than trying to take your lump sum and easing it in the market. So imagine trying to take a lump sum when Bitcoin was at 38 after the ETFs were approved, dropped to 38, and you're trying to ease a lump sum in. You're chasing this from 38 to 70. Do you understand? Plus. So over time, the studies have proven that if you have a lump sum, just dump it in. You're not going to sell it. You're not going to trade it. You're looking out to these dates, 2025, 2029, 2033. Those are the dates, guys. Those are the dates. Or you can pick the halving dates, right? Anything in between doesn't matter. So who cares if it goes down from where you bought it, goes up? By 2025, 2029, 2033, nobody's going to care. You're not even going to care, right? So lump sum in, and then from there, DCA. So that's always been my recommendation. You got a stash, you got, I don't know, tax refund, lump sum that shit in, and then continue your DCA. Don't be trying to time the market. Oh, wait a minute, I'm going to put a little bit in here, and then I'm going to wait and put a little bit in there. That doesn't work statistically over time. You might get lucky this time. But over time, studies show that lump sum will be better when you have a sum to put in. And then with your daily or weekly or bi-weekly fiat gains, you DCA based on that. Someone who's paid twice a week, make your DCA twice a week on payday or whatever. If you're weekly, make your DCA weekly. If you're like me and you have cash constantly coming in every day, make it daily. All right. And any amounts that you have that you don't need needs to go into freedom, people. Freedom, Bitcoin. And I will say this last thing, guys. I know I'm on a rant here, but I think it's important for me to get these things out before I'm out of here. But what's the point I wanted to make here? Shoot. Yes, you can have too much. Oh, yes. I say get as much Bitcoin as humanly possible, but it is possible for some to just have too much. And I find that the people who are most susceptible to having too much at the current time are the big lump summers. So the ones that have put a big chunk on the line at one price at one specific point in time. And what's the scenario under which you have too much? You can't sleep. You're looking at the frickin' price every 2 seconds of your life. Your family has lost you to Bitcoin's USD dollar price. That's not being lost to Bitcoin. That's being lost to the US dollar's opinion of Bitcoin. It's very different. You're not being loyal to Bitcoin by checking the price every few seconds. You're being loyal to the US dollar. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. That's being a fiat driven individual. And you are always on the edge of so much fear that you're thinking about selling and trying to time it to get back in lower. You have too much. Because the size that you have is influencing you to be a freaking idiot, to be a novice, to be scared. All right. When declines should be gifts, declines should be interpreted as Bitcoin's benevolence, as the freedom train that left you in the station with your freaking bags on the podium. The train comes back and says, I came back for you. Stutter swag, I came back for you, man. You got your bags and shit. All right. That's the way pullbacks should be regarded. But if pullbacks have you freaking losing your mind and you feel like you need to call, you need counseling, and you're DMing me, Oliver, is there a psychic hotline and shit that I can call? You have too much. Sell down to the sleeping point. Sell down to the point where a drop means nothing to me, and DCA your ass into Bitcoin from that point. If the size is going to make you a freaking idiot, then sell down to where you stop being a freaking idiot. And guess what? Contact me. You want to sell your Bitcoin? I swear to God to you, contact me. Just contact me. Contact me. I like this. I like what Michael says here. You guys see that? You see that? If caught up on fiat price, remind yourself that you need to continue providing value to others. This is very, very true. Put this line up. It's very, very true. When people tell me that, Oliver, I just don't have anything to put into Bitcoin, you have a value problem. That's a value problem. But how can that be? You have not found a way to contribute to your fellow man, to society, to your community at large in any way. And in reality, you don't deserve to be sucking up resources from someone else who's providing value to the world. Find something valuable to another human being to frickin' do. I never buy this. I never buy this notion. Oliver, I'm poor. I don't have anything to put into Bitcoin. Bullshit. You're either freaking lazy or you're just dumb. Go clean somebody's freaking garage out for them. It's the wintertime. Snow someone's front. Shovel someone's driveway. Take someone to the freaking airport instead of Uber and give them a discounted price. Like, dude, find something of value to do for somebody. Because if you know that, I'm not talking about dire poverty, because dire poverty is not here listening to me. You understand? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you. If you've got an income problem, you have a value problem. Find somewhere to put value. Bitcoin doesn't create value in that way for you. You understand? Stop looking to Bitcoin to create you into something. You have to become something, and you give that something over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not going to make you something. You have to become something of value, and you give that value to Bitcoin. Some people have said, I have the gift of communication. Okay, I give that to Bitcoin. I provide that skill, that ability, and I hand that to Bitcoin. Do you understand? But I'm not saying, Bitcoin, give me communication skills so that I can provide some value to people. All right, raise the bar, bro. Raise your level of value. Study something. Get good at something and give that to fellow men. In reality, the way the Abraham, right, survival of the fittest, we still, in a way, live in that survival of the fittest world. And anything that tries to smooth out the seeming violence of this universal law of survival of the fittest, it's wrong. It's unnatural. And what do I mean by that? Survival of the fittest is you don't deserve to live unless you contribute to the clan, buddy. You gotta be a cut above everybody else to survive. Otherwise, we're leaving your ass behind for the wild animals to eat, because you're slowing the whole group down, bro. You understand? Survival of the fittest, bro. You gotta be good at something. You have to deliver something of value to the clan, or we're leaving your ass. You're not surviving with us. You understand? And that is a universal law. Everybody has something they can be good at. Everybody. You got to find that. That's one of your main purposes on life. What is it that I can do better than 95% of the people on planet Earth? Find that. That's your whole goal in life. And then give that. Give that to people. Give that to the world. Give that to your community at large. And then give that shit to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin will multiply that. But if you come to Bitcoin with just make me rich, bro, that doesn't work. Make me rich, bro. Let's do a technical analysis on Bitcoin right now. But I do want to preface what I'm about to go into with something very important. I need you to understand this. Technical analysis in many respects, and especially as it relates to Bitcoin, is just the practice of astrology for men. Drawing lines and circles and, Fibonacci retracements and doing a little art piece on freedom is really freaking stupid in a way. Can't be drawing lines on freedom. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, well, I am going to
I think that the retracement to this level should stop because of the.
Dude, it's freedom. Doesn't matter what level it's on. It's still freedom. All right. So it's almost, I'm almost contradicting my thing here. With that being said, with all this being said, how do I say this without sounding like a freaking asshole? Basic technical knowledge from me, just a little different. And I hope that doesn't rub you the wrong way, but it is true. And maybe by the end of our talk, you'll understand. No, Oliver's right. It's a little different. But let's see. Got to keep it very basic and light just to give you a general guideline as to when you should step up shit, when you should step on the gas for Bitcoin. The technicals can give us some clues if you do it correctly. All right. Got to give you some background. I've been looking at the markets and trading based on the markets from a technical view from the time charts came into existence. When I started trading, there were zero charts. Do you understand? There was no real-time charting in front of your computer while you were playing the financial markets. There were numbers. There's a ticker tape going by, order flow, time and sales. There was zero charting. I have been charting markets from the time they came into existence. I'll tell you one thing. I consulted on one of the first direct access execution charting platforms. I was a consultant, and to help build it, I put 6,000 traders on the very first one that sold in the United States for $498 million. We sold the shit to Charles Schwab. $498 million. You go look it up. It was called CyberTrader. I worked on CyberTrader. I put traders on CyberTrader. I consulted. I told them what to build into the platform. And Charles Schwab bought it for $498 million. That's right. So I tell you that not to brag about anything. I tell you that to give you my pedigree as far as looking at the markets via charts. All right. So take that for whatever it's worth. Okay. I am going to bring up. There we go. Okay. What you are looking at is a weekly chart of BTC. And this is the time frame that I recommend the most. All right. There's several others, but this is the one that I recommend the most that you monitor. The weekly chart, which this obviously means that every bar represents one full week of trading. Now, take a look at this, guys. You know how ridiculous this is. All right. And maybe I should just do this. I don't need this. There. Now, look at what everybody's freaking out about. Look on the far right-hand side of the chart and look at what everybody's freaking out about. There's a little baby. Look at the little baby. Look at the little baby, the little baby, the little baby. It's a little baby red. That's what everybody's freaking out about. Isn't it cute? Look at the baby, the baby. Okay. Anyway, so what you also have, so every bar represents one full week of trading, right? And also what you have is, sorry about this, guys. Let me just do this. It's a little dark in here. What you also have is you have two moving averages. I've done a lot of work, this dual moving average combination here, 20-period moving average and 40-period moving average. They're simple in nature. I've never found any evidence over 4 decades of doing this. I've never found any evidence that the sexier varieties of moving averages are any more superior than the basic simple ones. I use simple moving averages. 20-period moving average, that's the blue one. And I use the 40-period moving average for this purpose. Okay, this purpose. Okay, so let's go back into it. Now, what you'll find is that the strongest periods for Bitcoin are when these two moving averages are almost like railroad tracks. So look at the 2 times that Bitcoin is sort of close to railroad tracks, meaning that there's a consistent space between the two, and they're not quite parallel, but they're close to parallel. So if you look at the left-hand side of the chart, during the move down into the end of 2022, you see that parallel like moving average combination, right? Okay. That's smooth railroad tracks to the downside. Now, if you go to the far right-hand side of the chart, you'll see that we're getting this parallel, more parallel like dual trending flow in these two moving averages. So these two moving averages can sort of help you understand, am I in the meat of the trend? And I would say that we are entering, it's the beginning of the meat of the trend. And if you look at the left as an example, you had the meat of the trend to the downside. All right. April, May, June, July, August, September. You follow what I'm saying. Okay. So identifying the meat of the trend is this way: railroad tracks 20 and 40 or close to it, smooth, 45-degree angle up or 45-degree angle down, relatively even space in between. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. That's the first thing. The second thing I want to point your attention to is that there is a unique space between these two things. So there are times when you can get pulled to the moving averages or in between these two moving averages. And if you are in a trending market, those can be really solid, nice, aggressive accumulation periods. So you've got them both rising, but they fall back in between. So if Bitcoin were to fall back in between 41,000 and 46,000, that is the in-between really deep value zone from a technical perspective. Doesn't mean it's going to hold there, and there's no guarantees, but remember, these are just loose guidelines for when do we step on the gas. I would step on the gas big between the 20 and 40. Okay? This makes sense so far? I would step on the gas between the two risings. That would be deep value zone. The same way we got that in late 2023 in the 26,000 area. We got in between the 20 and 40. That was deep value, deep accumulation zone. Tell me you understand this so far. Just a few of you. I just want to see a few comments here. I'll sip on my coffee. Talk to me. I don't see anybody commenting to me. Anybody, just tell me. Otherwise, I'm not going to go on. It's okay. We can end it here. Let's see. Exacto. Good. I got one. Thank you. Thank you, Chip. One. There's like 1,300 people here in this. All right, cool. All right, Chip. Chip's got cut and paste here. That's what Chip's got cut and paste here. All right, cool. So we know that there's deep value in both are rising and you fall between the value. So there's some legitimate value. There's credence in knowing how to identify a deep value zone. So with this knowledge, a deep value zone is you're breaking to around 40,000 to 48,000. That's a deep value zone. Okay. Very important to be able to determine that. Now, I want you to notice on both the left and the right, I want you to notice each time that Bitcoin got a certain distance away from the two moving average zone. So if you look at the two moving averages as a zone, right? I want you to note when each time Bitcoin has gotten a certain distance away from the moving averages. So look at this. Okay. Each time. Okay. there's a certain distance. What am I doing? Why can't I do this? Let's do it like this. Come on, bro. Okay, each time. So we're looking for space, right? You're looking for space. Now, what you can do, right? What you can do is you can take an average measurement of this space. What is more or less, what's the average percentage Bitcoin gets away from this zone and then pulls back, snaps a little bit closer back to the zone? Pick an average and get an average. And you can see that they're not the same, but they're not that far apart from each other either. And so a certain percentage that Bitcoin gets away from the zone, you know, you're probably very, very fairly priced, if not slightly more from a shorter term perspective. All right. Now, these are some things that I get into with my traders, and we create what it's called a DCA on steroids program using some of these technicals. So we're never going to stop DCAing, but we are going to have 3 different DCA sizes. So I'm going to have a DCA size for when we are fairly priced right there. I'm going to have a DCA size when we are in deep value, and I'm going to have a different DCA size when we've just broken deep value, and that's generational wealth opportunity time. All right. So you've got a little ahead of itself. All right. Little ahead of itself here. That's regular DCA size. Value DCA, that's double. And generational wealth DCA is triple, let's say. And that's how you create a multi-tiered DCA level using some technicals. All right. Again, just loose guides, guys. Just loose guides. All right. Just loose guides. And the last thing I will say, and you don't need very much after this, is that the crossovers can mean something. And I'm not a big crossover moving average guy, but where it can come in handy is when these 2 moving averages cross, right? But the first thing you need is a big drop or big rally to cross the moving averages. All right. And if this big drop rallies back and you have a cross, that will tend to be a failed rally and you drop. Same thing on the downside. All right. Let me just do it like this. This move up crossed the moving averages. Now look at the cross. See the cross right there? So that move up crossed the moving averages. So now the pullbacks are buyable. Pullbacks are buyable after the cross. All right. If I were a seller of Bitcoin and I'm not, this drop crossed the moving averages right there. So then now pullback rallies are fake. Rallies are fake. You see? Rallies are fake until you get the cross again. Now pullbacks are buyable. Boom. Pullbacks are buyable. Boom. Sideways movements are the same as pullbacks. They're buyable. All right. And guys, that's the extent of it. Now, again, I am not a seller of Bitcoin ever. I don't use anything to say, this is where I should take profits. I don't take profits on freedom. I have never met, and going on 5 years now, I've never met a person who has traded Bitcoin and wound up several years later with more than where they started. Never, never, never. Guys, and I speak to thousands of people all over the world. I've never met one. It's almost a guaranteed way of winding up with less Bitcoin. Do you understand me? I've never met someone who's done this well. You always wind up with less, but the people who come out way ahead are the people who don't sell, and they use the downward movements to get Bitcoin richer every week. All the way in the downtrend, they're just getting Bitcoin richer, not fiat richer, Bitcoin richer every week. And when Bitcoin turns, OMG, they just surge to massively bigger, wealthier, richer. You understand? And they always beat the person trying to time it, who always winds up with less. I've never met one, not one. I met someone who got get lucky and they think that that's normal. They think that's going to last, but no. All right. Okay. That's it, guys. Just wanted to quickly, a light little touch of, just some broad, basic, simple technical things that can give you an idea of when you're maybe a little ahead of yourself, when Bitcoin's a little ahead of itself, what being able to identify a deep value zone, being able to determine when Bitcoin's rocking in that 45-degree angle, parallel train track like way, and when it's generational time, generational accumulation time, generational wealth accumulation time. All right. Now, Ben Clayson, obviously very new to the space. Welcome. DCA stands for dollar cost averaging. It stands for taking you can Google this, but taking a set dollar amount. What's my card doing here? A set dollar amount and a consistent periodic application of that amount. $100 a week, every single week on the same day. That's $100 DCA, $100 weekly DCA as an example. All right. What else, guys? Good stuff. I appreciate that. Thank you. Just broad, guys. You don't want to keep it too. I find that a lot of people are try to get too sophisticated and too fancy with their charting. And those are the people who are usually trying to sell you something anyway, right? Because they have to make it seem like it's overly complex. Dude, it's up bars and down bars. It's not freaking rocket science. It's green bars and it's red bars. Like, come on. And if your chart looks like a freaking bowl of spaghetti, you've gone way off the deep end. I'm telling you. It's just basic things to visually come up with, we're visual in nature. So visually seeing value zones and things like that, and having some framework of when to know, wow, there's a lot of space in Bitcoin, and that key moving average zone is probably a little ahead of itself right now. Just basic things like that. But if you've got freaking 150,000 different lines on your chart and squiggly lines and the crossovers, and you've got checking the planetary alignment of Jupiter. Jupiter's in orbit. Ridiculous, dude. At the end of the day, it's up bars and down bars. You know, it's not rocket science like that. It doesn't require that. All right. I think this is a good question here. What's your end game for Bitcoin? To use it as money or eventually sell for dollars? Selling for dollars, never. Why would you go back to what is going down every single second of its existence and purchasing power? Why? Bitcoin is the freedom and the escape from that. So selling back into that doesn't mean is stupid. Now, trading Bitcoin for something that is immensely important to you, I'm okay with that. You have a dream. You've had this dream since you were a kid. You promised your mom. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story that'll sum up exactly what I feel is acceptable. I had a guy, I was speaking in Barcelona, and I had a guy travel from Italy to come be with me at that talk. It was like a 2-day talk, right? And he came with his wife. He didn't come with his mother. He didn't come with his mother, but he came with his wife and his kids. And he had been following some of my Bitcoin talks at the time. And he said, Oliver, I want to tell you that you changed my life. You see, I'm a waiter. He had a beautiful wife and family. I'm a waiter in a restaurant in Italy. I don't make that much. I'm the only worker in my family. I don't want my wife to work. I want her to do the most important thing in life that a mother can do, which is to make sure the kids are okay. And so I work all day long. I don't make a lot, but my life's been changed because over the past 2 years, all right, I started with you when Bitcoin was 3,000, as low as 3,800, and it freaking changed my life. And he said that I'm struggling with your message that you're never going to sell Bitcoin. And I'm struggling with this because my whole childhood throughout life, I promised my mom that she was ultimately not going to have to pay to live in someone else's house. My childhood dream is to pull my mother out of someone's house and to give her her own house. It will make her the happiest person in the world. And I'm struggling with this, Oliver. I want to do this dream, and I'm not going to do it as a waiter, but I have accomplished it. The ability to do that with Bitcoin because of you. Thank you. Is this wrong? And I was like, dude, this is your mother. Nothing is more important than your mother. Bitcoin is the best savings technology the world has ever known, but your mother? Dude, take care of your mom. What kind of man are you if you don't do that? Take care of your mom, dude. Sell that shit. If that's your lifelong dream, trade your Bitcoin in for that house. Make her the happiest mother on planet Earth. By all means. And start again. You've accomplished a lifelong dream. You've made a mother the happiest mother on planet Earth. And so at the end of the day, value is to be used for things like that. There are certain things that I believe it's okay to trade for. Travel. If you have not traveled, you're not living the full potential of a human being on this planet. Travel. You may not be able to do it frequently, but travel. Experience different parts of the world. Get in touch with other cultures, man. What that will do for you and your soul is far more valuable than anything else. It raises the spirit, it deepens the soul, and a raised spirit and deepened soul will produce more, be more. At the end of the day, you are the ultimate value, and anything that adds to you, anything that increases you, anything that raises the level of who you are is worth it all. Okay? Travel does that. Okay? Memories. Memories, guys. At the end of the day, it's the only thing we have, right? Memories, but special ones. Those are okay. Go after good memories. Build good memories in your life. Have a collection of really special memories that you can sit on a freaking porch with your rocking chair and some Kool-Aid in between the other rocking chair, and some of your best friends can come visit you and reminisce about special memories. Kool-Aid, 2 rocking chairs. And speaking of rocking chairs, let me just say this. Every person is not meant to be in your life forever. Most people are not supposed to be in your life forever. You see, if our life were to represent a novel, there are multiple chapters in a novel, and most people that come into our life pop up in chapter 2 of our life's novel. Maybe they're supposed to be in the novel up until chapter 6. So from 2 to 6, they're supposed to be there, and then after 6, that character's supposed to die out in your novel. They're not supposed to be there. They're supposed to leave or something. And if you try to keep people in your life longer than they're supposed to keep in your life, this will affect your life negatively and will affect your ability to accumulate Bitcoin and do the right thing. Every person is not supposed to be what I call a rocking chair friend or person. If you get 1 or 2 rocking chair friends, what do I mean by rocking chair friends? That picture I gave you, rocking chair, little small table, pitcher of cool lemonade, right? Porch, rocking chair, pitcher of Kool-Aid, another rocking chair. Who's in that rocking chair when you're 88 years old, reminiscing about memories? Who is that? Is that person in your life now? Probably not. Maybe. Every single person I am monitoring. Is this a rocking chair? This person that came into my life, do they have rocking chair qualities or just chapter qualities? And putting them in these categories appropriately, I think, is very important. Right? Can't live life like a dummy and think everybody's a rocking chair person because they're not. You understand? So, anyway, my view is that when every fiat currency in the world is dying and Bitcoin is rising against every currency, the ultimate stop is when Bitcoin becomes a thriving global medium of exchange and it becomes the dominant unit of account. Then you can think about using it every single day. Can you always trade it for things that are very special to you? Yes. but make sure you have some plan, like a limited plan, like I will never get rid of more than 10% of my stack in any given cycle. So let me give you, Bitcoin has 4-year cycles. And I give you these years for a purpose, people. 2025, 2029, and 2033. I don't spit those numbers out randomly. Those are based on the past. That's the only thing we have. It could be broken, but based on the past, those are typically the years of the top of a cycle. Make sure that you have something structured if you're going to be using it for something of value, something of so special to you. Don't be using it to fill up your gas tank, buy fucking coffee. All right. Use dirty fiat for your bullshit to pay your mortgage or your rent. That's bullshit. Special, but like this kid buying his mom a house, his childhood dream since a little boy, like that, no more than 10%, something like that. And you'll be fine forever like that. You'll be fine forever. All right. Thoughts on selling some Bitcoin to fund a trading account? If I were your dad, I'd be like, are you freaking stupid? I know you're not stupid, but I would be vehemently against that. And the reason is not because trading is it's a very lofty pursuit. But let's face it, guys, trading has a 92% failure rate. And this failure rate is amongst the professionals. I'm talking about the failure rate in professional firms with access to capital and proper guidance. Let's call that, for lack of a better term, Wall Street. It's a 92% failure rate. With the best tools available, no limitation of capital, 92% failure rate. The numbers of people on planet Earth who will ever get this is so infinitesimally small. It's like an activity that most people should just resign to not being able to ever do. Now, I know this might sound strange coming from a trading professional, and yes, I do take people on, but that is not being hypocritical, because I let every single person know that the odds are against you, that you're probably going to fail, that it's a 92% failure rate at best and a 98% failure rate at worst. Now, do you think you have what it takes to be the 2 to 8% of the people on planet Earth to get this? And laying out like that, the person has to really think about it. I'm telling you, you're likely to fail, highly likely to fail. Now, there are still some benefits that come out of even failing. You will become a more disciplined individual. You will raise yourself to the point of view where you get to know who you are, know your frailties, know your faults. There's a value in that. But selling the most precious thing on earth to go into an endeavor that has that much of a high failure rate, I would say no. There are better ways. Doesn't mean give up on your dream. That's your dream. But I wouldn't sell Bitcoin for that. You understand? Just don't trade, guys. Just accumulate Bitcoin, man. Don't trade. Unless it's a real deep passion, don't do it. Its failure rate's too high. All right. Good. I appreciate this, PPM. I appreciate it. Thank you, PPM Black. Jay, thank you very much. Grateful to have come across your account. I appreciate that. Awesome. Cool. You're quite welcome. Yeah. I'll use your W-2 income for that. Excellent. Excellent. And look for someone, guys. I'm not trying to plug anything I do here, but I do fund traders who really understand. I know, Oliver, the odds are against me. I get it. I know I'm probably going to fail. I still want to try this. All right. Nothing wrong with that. If you understand and it's a passion and you understand, I'm not going to see results right away, man. I got to put in the work and it's going to be a long time before I see results. If you understand that, all right, you know, I have a program where I'll fund you the capital to do it and provide the training. But you have to understand this is not for 99% of the people on earth. And you are far better accumulating Bitcoin. I'm telling you, you're far better. You're far better accumulating Bitcoin. I appreciate it, Chip. Thank you. Oh, that's interesting. You trade better with your own capital. That's really interesting because most people trade better when it's not their capital. You see, most people will be stupid and undisciplined with their own capital, take unnecessary risks, do the wrong thing. But what I find with my traders is that when they know I'm watching, they're really careful. And when am I watching the most? When it's my capital. And so they're like, I gotta be on point. Oliver's watching. So most people trade better when they're trading my capital. When they're trading their capital, they're idiots. You know, there's no check on that. All right. All right, guys, listen, just wanted to help you or to give you my view of how I kind of loosely use technical analysis. All right, guys, what's the message always? Let's end with that, okay? You are to, this is what you need to do. If you haven't done this or yet, focus on becoming Bitcoin richer every week of your life. I don't even care if it's by $5. These amounts will matter. Yes, even $5, even $10. Never sold will matter in your lifetime. Do you understand? So focus on having more Satoshis this week than last week. And do not stop that. I don't care what the price is. You can do that with two things: DCA every single week or daily, but at least every single week. Put something in every single week. Smash buy if you can. There's three things. Smash buy if you can. So Bitcoin drops by a decent amount. Boom. In addition to your weekly, take something that you don't need and won't need and smash buy that shit. All right. The third thing, if you suddenly get some money, some dirty fiat that just suddenly came up, I don't know, tax refund, whatever, and it's not normal. If you don't need it, anytime you get something you don't need, put it in Bitcoin. If you need it, don't. But it's like, this $30, I can do without this. Boom, in Bitcoin. And I want you to adopt this mindset. You're not buying Bitcoin. You're changing the weak into a strong. You understand? You're not buying it. You're changing it. It's like saying, all right, I'm going to change this dollar for 4 quarters. You didn't buy the 4 quarters. You changed flimsy paper for metal. Equal value. All right. So take this mindset. I haven't lost anything by taking $35 that I don't need right now, put it in Bitcoin. I didn't even purchase it. I just changed it. I changed it into the hardest money the world has ever seen. And if I hold on to it long enough, it will multiply my life. Even that $35 will multiply my life. Every 4 years, it will multiply my life. Now, think about every single time you put something into Bitcoin every week. That little piece that you put in will multiply your life. And think of each weekly DCA amount is like a little soldier that now has orders to take care of your life every 4 years for the rest of your life. And then you do it the next week and you created another Bitcoin soldier that gets orders. Okay, I have to protect this dude every 4 years of his life. And then the next week, another soldier, you building this army of Bitcoin soldiers that have one thing in mind. Every 4 years, we got to take care of him. Every 4 years, we got to increase his life. Every 4 years, we got to multiply his value. We got to make this dude richer, wealthier, freer, and more independent every 4 years of his life. And you just build your army. And at some point in the future, these weekly dominoes are just going to start falling. Boom, boom, boom. Every week, boom. More wealth, more freedom, more independence. Boom, boom. For the rest of your life. Build that shit for 4 years and watch it start cascading. Don't trade it. Don't sell it. Don't even think about selling right now. Got it? All right, guys. Let's do Chip's cut and paste here. All right, guys. I love you to death, man. I love you to death. All right, guys. I'll try to do these things regularly all the way to 100. I told you. I'm off Twitter, not permanently. I'm not off Twitter, meaning you'll never see a post from me, but not like this. All right. All right, guys. Ciao for now.